Welcome to the Occupational Safety Leadership Podcast, episode number 316. Today's episode, we'll talk about just a couple of the little silent signals that leaders send about occupational safety. So, all of us have been there. We've brought up something before in the past. Yeah, it's going to get fixed. So, there's a lot of silent signals that go on out there. I think that one of my favorite ones is just the overlooked things, you know. And I'm not sure if they're really doing it on purpose at first. They probably don't know. But when they do know and then things are not done about it, that's when they kind of tend to overlook those things, maybe downplay it. Like, oh, we got a lot of things to focus on. Let's focus on something else. Um, that's not that big of a deal. Maybe there's something of a higher priority to work on, that kind of so there's definitely a lot of silent signals that go on out there. Some of my favorite ones that I've heard from other safety professionals is um, some managers were walking the floor and they noticed that one of the managers decided that it was okay to wear flip-flops on the floor. So they work in a machine shop, lots of heavy things. So of course to enter it, they have you have to wear a steel toe, composite toe, something to that effect then to protect your feet. And but this manager decided that because that's not his work environment, he doesn't have to do those things. So things like that really send a super strong message. The safety professional did everything that he could to have this changed, of course, and he was overruled. He was told no, all that good stuff, of course. Eventually frustration sets in, he quits, and of course over several things, certainly not just this one thing then. But that's a really strong signal that a supervisor sends out there is the rules apply to you, not to me as I go through. You work here, not me. I just kind of oversee and manage the people here. So there's a lot of those silent signals out there. I think we've already discussed things that get overlooked, things that seem really super obvious, and then when it comes time for a walkthrough, they manage to find the same thing that they walked past, for multiple weeks straight, not done anything about it. All of a sudden, when it comes time for a leadership walkthrough, look at all the stuff they found. You know, so we do know that these things happen out there. It's really hard for the safety professional, of course, obviously, to say that safety is important when the signal from management is it's important when I say it's important, or it's important when we have extra money. Until we have some extra money and time, it's not that important. So these are just a few of the silent signals, and of course I could go on and on and on and on. Um, Luckily for me, everybody's taking it really serious, but stories I've heard from other safety professionals is literally, if I didn't hear it from the horse's mouth, I would think it was like almost that game of telephone where you start off with a story, and of course the story goes from person to person, and then at the end it's a totally different story then at the very end. So be on the lookout for this stuff. I do think that at times um, supervisors literally don't know, and we as safety professionals should do everything we can to help them, tell them, educate them, because a lot of times when you're a supervisor, you didn't get to be a supervisor because you were really awesome at safety and then you did other tasks and jobs out there. You're a supervisor because you're really good at doing whatever it is, making widgets, you're turning that wrench, you're doing, all that stuff then. That doesn't mean that they've been trained in safety. So do everything you can. Obviously, you do it in the right form. You don't do it in front of others, and you do everything you can to work with this person. So, again, I think some people literally don't know, and maybe they were even trained wrong, because when the keys are kind of passed down, from person to person, well, if that person didn't know or that person blew it off, and now they're kind of showing the person through. The new supervisor is now saying, "Oh, well, I guess that's just kind of the standard here," you know. So I do like to give people the benefit of the doubt until they show me there is no benefit of the doubt out there. With that, let's wrap it up. Be on the lookout for those silent signals. They're not going to walk through the workplace and say, "I found the following things wrong," and we're not going to address it. It's going to be just like the title says, a silent signal. They just won't address that. So be on the lookout for those. Help those supervisors, right? Pull them aside. You find a good time to talk to them. Let's walk through. Let's educate. Let's work on our standards. We all know that we all have different standards out there, but let's look at what we're going to do to up our game. And with that, of course, means that we're coaching and working with supervisors. We're not slamming them, because most of the time, human nature is, I was slammed, I was embarrassed, I was something. Well, now I'm going to do a little pushback. It doesn't matter how much I care about safety, really hurt me in that. So we want to coach people, not be the cop and correct them in public, not embarrass them, not all that stuff. Uh, so let's wrap it up. I'm starting to drone on, and please like, subscribe, all that stuff. I'm trying to do everything I can to provide these to help people be a better safety professional than me. I want everybody to succeed, be better than me, prevent more injuries, illnesses, all that stuff. And with that, thank you for joining me. My name is Dr. David Ayers. Have a safe day.